Okay, this is Heather Lambert right here. She is responding to a post I just posted today. And she told my aunt, was complaining to her about how she was out of pain meds, probably because she was trying to get her to give her some like she already done before, and she also told her something about how she wished she had something to drink, going to her, begging her, and hurts her feelings so effing bad. Let me tell you about how many things I've done for her. Okay, I've helped her move 4 different times. Four. I have, more recently, I took Sonny's oldest, Murphy, up to Branson when it was 15 degrees outside. Drove back at 11 o'clock at night for $40 worth of gas. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. The 3,000 that was forgiven, I flew Sonny out to meet his dad. I've sold things on eBay for him. I've done all kinds of things, but mostly for Heather. And this, you know, she could get a job just because her, Sonny's mother is in the hospital. That was supposedly the problem, her being divisive. But it's obviously Heather's pill problem, her alcohol problem, and her marijuana problem. She spends too much money on all those three things. That, and then she goes whining to my aunt, thinking she's going to get sympathy or money out of her, and it just ain't going to happen because she is going to, she signed a promissory note for $1,500. I could have made it for more, but I made it so easy to pay back. At the April 15th was the easiest possible time, right after taxes, and she doesn't even have the money this time. She's made so many promises of pay me back when she gets her child support, or when she does this, when she does that, and it's never been kept. Not a single one. I she's called me her lifesaver twice, but this is how she treats people that save her life. This is what she does for people who do nothing. Like, for instance, the starter I bought for Sonny's vehicle so he can drive back and forth to work. I paid for that, and the smile on his face, just the confidence that he had, that was wonderful. But did anybody pay me back for even that? No. How many times have I fixed her vehicle? I recharged her air conditioner. I rode with her grandpa up to get a trailer for Sonny's grandmother. I almost signed a loan for $10,000 for them to get another trailer, and I'm glad it didn't work because she doesn't deserve it, and neither does his grandmother. His grandmother has put him through so much crap, and so has Heather, and that he doesn't deserve any of that. Not a bit. She is nothing like the person I thought she was. But all these people, they're ex-employees that my dad hired. You can never get the truth out of an employee unless you somehow create a safe space to where they can be completely honest. And that's the only place that my parents and my parent, mom and sister, get their information from people that literally don't want to lose their job. So, of course, they're going to tell them what they want to hear. That's called an echo chamber and just confirming their own biases. That's the problem. They don't research anything. Just like my sister tried to get off of salt and then supplement herself with iodine, she nuked her own thyroid by doing that. And as also, with testosterone implants, that's probably what's made her even angrier uh, or worse than she used to be, because your body regulates themselves for these things on their own. You don't have to supplement them. And man, it's and my grandpa and my daughter's the one who made me realize that ADHD runs in my family. Whether uh, mom realizes it or not, but that's why he was always angry at the slightest little things. Had he been medicated back then, he probably would have been a decent father and grandfather, but he didn't know what he had. I didn't even know. because it runs through generational lines 80% of the time. 80%. So, and there's no really hyperactivity when you have it as an adult. It's mostly major depression, which is what I've had, which I thought was seasonal depression, but it's actually major depression. But the more that I get the silent treatment from my family, the more it just makes me angry because they can't explain a single one of their actions while I can explain every single one of mine and why I was suspicious of certain people, and I can explain every bit of it. But mom and dad, they can't explain any of it. And they probably couldn't tell you any bit of what I went through because they didn't listen for not even 10, 15 minutes. And another thing, my mom's had let people like stay in her house many times throughout the years, like employees and whatnot. And I wonder how many times did she threaten to call the police just because they had a friend over or something of that nature, like she did me. When I had a friend over for 30 minutes and she walks in the hot tub room, and I even go out there and ask her what's the problem, very calmly, very quietly, and she just flips out and says she threatens to call the police for no reason whatsoever, isolating me after I'd already been isolated for at least 5 months. So, if they need to ask a professional or a psychiatrist, someone who's actually went to school, and knows these things, they should, because I've done the research, I know. And the funniest thing, I asked the accountants, they both went to college for accounting. My mom, a tax question, a simplest one, a yes or no, like did I do my taxes correctly? Not even an answer, Ben. When I go there in person and ask her the same question, all she says is multiply by this decimal point and Social Security will get there, blah, blah, blah. Didn't explain anything, didn't even answer the original question with a yes or a no. That's how, like, these gummies and alcohol have screwed up their minds horribly. They can't even answer a simple yes or no question. So, and I'm not gonna let this intergenerational trauma continue. Everyone's whose actions are what they're going to be held accountable for. All their actions. Because if I claim something, you best believe I've got some evidence to back it up, or a good reason to back it up. Just because my family didn't listen to me, that doesn't really mean all that much. That just means I have a shitty family. That's about it.